Hello, emotionally literate family. This is the Stormy Poet. Thank you for joining us for this edition of the Levels of Love Tips, where we discuss relationship issues in context to the social and economic climate. I'm your relationship advisor, here to equip you with whatever knowledge I am able to provide so that you may be successful in all your relationships. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to be discussing why women seem to choose jerks over good guys. Thank you for joining us. Hello everyone, thank you for joining us. This is the Stormy Poet, your relationship advisor. Very glad to be able to discuss this topic. It's one I've been meaning to touch on for quite some time. I know I say that about a lot of the stuff that I talk about, but this one in particular because this is a very commonly discussed topic amongst the whole relationship guidance, relationship, expert arena, if you will. I mean, that whole genre of literature and movies and such. This is a real popular thing that's discussed in those spheres. Excuse me. And I myself have not had a chance to really give my take on it, so to speak. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard the saying that women like bad boys. There was the DMX song at one point in time, why do good girls like bad boys? You hear a lot of men complaining, and I've seen it myself over the years. Women don't want a good man, that whole crowd. The women are only attracted to deadbeats who like to go to jail a lot, things of that nature. And I really wanted to break this down. That's one I get a lot. A lot of men send me emails about this. And as you heard in the intro, the title is going to be Why Women Seem to Choose Jerks Over Good Guys. It's been said in other ways, women always want the bad guy and all that good stuff. So I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with it. But a lot of men email me about this. They email me about it, and it occurs to me that they really don't understand what they're saying. They really don't understand the whole dynamics behind that and why women seem to choose, quote unquote, choose the bad guys. So I really am thrilled to break this down. Before we get started, please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you are alerted whenever I upload any of these videos. I want you to stay up to date on these things so that we're all on the same page and so that you get the most updated information when it is available. Now, what I like to ask men when they send me this is, what exactly is a quote-unquote nice guy? What really is that? What does that mean when a guy says that, or when you hear that being tossed around, that women don't want nice guys, they always want the jerks or the roughnecks? And that's what I ask them. And here are the typical responses that I get from these males who send this type of stuff to me. And by their definition, it basically boils down to three types of men. The first type of man is, and you hear this a lot, and even a lot of women say that this is a good man, which there's that. But it's basically a guy who has his own place, who has a cool job, who has his own car, and who doesn't abuse women. pretty much when a lot of dudes email me, they say, I have my own place, I have a cool job, I have my own car, I've never abused a woman, I never hit a woman, never cheated on a woman. This is their basic criteria for what classifies as a nice guy or a good man. The other guy is the second guy is the guy who makes the grand gestures. And I see this a lot, especially with a lot of well-to-do men. Men who are men of means financially, and they do these grand gestures. You know, they do, especially on the first dates or in the initial stages of getting to know a woman, they do these really grand gestures. They'll do stuff like, I remember this story of this former coworker of mine and some guy, and they weren't even dating. That's the funny part about it. But he ended up, like, he had a crush on her and let her know about it. And he ended up buying her a guitar, stuff like that. There was another situation where this one guy paid off this chick's student loans, this lady I used to know. So those big gestures, especially on first dates, you take her to, you know, a 5-star restaurant or something like that and want her a carriage ride through the city, things of that nature. A lot of those guys, the women ends up leaving them anyway, not dealing with them because they have no respect for them. But we'll get into that later. The third guy is the guy who gives unnecessary praise or politeness. Now, this guy is the most frequent one I hear from. The most frequent one I hear from, and of course the third one could fit any of the other first two, but that's typically how I categorized it based off the feedback that I've been getting. So let me break down why these groups of nice guys, good guys, are not successful with women. Now let's go through the first guy. The guy who has his own place, the guy who has a cool job, you know, his own car, and that basically just doesn't mistreat women. The thing about this nice guy, and I'm throwing up my air quotes, you can't see him obviously, but the thing about this guy is what he embodies is basically what a standard adult should be. This is basically what a standard stable adult should be. There's nothing special about having your own place. Okay, that's pretty typical amongst adults. You gotta have a job to have a place, or else you're living with someone else to have your own place. He has his own car. Again, transportation. You don't necessarily have to be driving a Benz to be transporting. You can get you a little something. The average person can get them something on 4 wheels, if not 2 wheels. And you don't abuse women. Okay, you're not supposed to abuse women because that's just wrong. You don't get accolades for not mistreating women. You're not supposed to do that. That's like with racism. Why? Not all white people are racist, okay? You don't get accolades for not being racist. I mean, you're not supposed to be. That's a bad thing to do. That's a morally wrong thing to do. So there's nothing really unique about a guy who has basically what a standard adult is supposed to have. There's nothing special about that. But a lot of guys think that, that's good enough. And that being good enough is good enough. And the females are like, I got all that. I got my own place. I don't, have my own car, my own transportation. Okay, what's special about you? Women typically are looking for what they already don't have in a man. They're typically looking for what they don't have. So these things are just normal things people are supposed to have. There's nothing special about that. A lot of guys have underachieved through their lives. they have tried to lie to themselves, and they say to themselves, you know, if I just get these standard basic things, the females are going to be falling over for me. And it doesn't work that way. Men, and I'm speaking to the men tonight, a lot of my lady listeners have expressed their discontent with when I address issues that the females or things that the females do that are wrong. So I'm going to get on the fellas tonight. But a lot of men have not taken the time to really cultivate the best version of themselves, the most unique version of themselves. Like me, for instance, I'm a writer. It took me a minute to figure that out, but for a lot of my life, I was BSing, to be completely 100% honest with you. A lot of my life, I was dilly-daddling around and trying to go party. Most guys do that in their 20s. I took it a little bit further than that, farther than I should have. And I really wasn't putting the work in as far as trying to figure out what I was good at, what I was gifted at, and basically what was meant for me to do in my life. I really didn't figure that out until I was probably about 28, 29. So it took me a minute. I was a late bloomer. I would say late bloomer, but I was more of a stubborn person who didn't want to bloom. So once I got into writing, literary art, once I got into just the whole literary universe, other possibilities started opening up to me. What do I mean by that? For instance, I'm here doing a podcast right now. I never saw myself doing a show or a broadcast or a program of any kind, but because I began to explore, I came across other people who were doing things similar to mine, and they had their own things popping off, and I'm like, well, you know, I know a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff too, and I see that this person started off this way. What's stopping me from doing what you know, something beyond just strictly writing? Writing is my main thing that I do, but some of the stuff I write on, I'm like, it would be better expressed if I verbally gave the message to the people. You go on my website and see the things that I wrote, but some of those things, I'm like, I have globs of more things to say about this and expand upon this, and I can't really do it sitting here writing this in this article, because I know people have short attention spans. I get it. So I'm like, let me go ahead and get my own little YouTube channel and do it through there. So these are things that came secondary from me actually getting off my butt and discovering what it is I wanted to do with the rest of my life, and I wanted to write. But other opportunities, other things that you didn't even know that you were good at will come along and present themselves to you, and you become a more refined and cultured and talented male, a more talented man. That's what attracts women. All the other stuff that's good, you need to have all the other stuff in place, but those are just basic. That's just your ticket to get in the door, basically. A woman looks at you and says, okay, he has his own job, his own house, his own car, and all that stuff. Cool. Okay, that lets me know he's not a total damn deadbeat, but what unique is he offering? What unique is he bringing me that I don't have? In order to become a better writer, I had to start studying other things and studying different cultures. I mainly write about racism and white supremacy, so I had to really immerse myself in that. Then I came across individuals who were, the way that they were speaking was so elegant and was so articulate. I learned different vocabulary and things of that nature, and that made me a better writer. Not only that, it made me a better orator. So I started off as a complete amateur with this thing, and I still have not perfected it, obviously, but you get what I'm saying. A woman's gonna come across someone like that and be like, wow, that's amazing. That's amazing that you know how to do all these things, that you have all these skill sets. She knows you're gonna be bringing that to the relationship, and that she is gonna be indirectly benefiting from that. That's what women are looking for. If you know how to fix a car, mechanics, if you're a mechanic, you will stay with women. You will never be single unless you choose to a day in your life. You will stay with women because mechanics they have a skill set that is extremely useful. Not even just working on cars. I mean, things around the house. I once was friends with a mechanic, and he was working for the city of Dallas, working on their water treatment facility. You come to a woman talking about you mechanic. Not only that, you in shape half the time if you're a mechanic. I know there's some fat mechanics, I get it, but for the most part, that's a calorie burning job. So your physique is on point. But yeah, that's standard kind of thing that men, y'all gotta stop lying to yourselves. And I would even throw this in there. I would say this to the men who email me this. I'm a nice guy, and women only want bad guys. What makes you a nice guy? You're not a nice guy if this is all you're bringing to the table. You're not a good man if this is all you're bringing to the table. You should aspire for more than that. This is the average. And your job when you're around women is to be anything but average. Can't think of a bigger turnoff for women. You're supposed to be anything but average. That's your time to shine, to sell yourself. When you walk in the room and there's a woman there, you need to exuberate. You need to radiate excellence, not mediocrity. Now let me break down why the second type of guy is not successful with women. The guys who make these grand gestures. It's very simple, and this kind of encompasses all three, but I'm just gonna use it for this point. But the thing about it is, women have a very innate sense where they can sense if a man is insincere. I won't say they can sense what a man is BSing them, because guys become very sophisticated at BSing women, and that's harder to detect. But when it comes to insincerity, there are a couple of things that they can pick up on very quickly and instantaneously. They can pick up on certain nonverbal cues. They can pick up on certain terminology very quickly to tell if you're insincere or not. And the grand gestures is one of them. That says that you're very insincere. That says that not only are you insincere, you're very insecure. You're very insincere because you are trying to, first of all, you're not really trying to get this woman to know more about you and about who you are. You're more concerned with trying to get her locked down. Yeah, y'all ain't slick. And I'm not saying that because I can see through that. I'm saying that because the women can see through that. I've seen men do all types of stuff for females who don't even look all that, who ain't even all that fine. Like I broke down earlier, I seen a woman get her debt paid off, her whole college debt. I mean, damn. I've seen men who have bought women all types of jewelry right out the gate. And the women are like, thanks, but no thanks. Hell, let me bring my own mama into the equation. There was a guy my mom was dating when I was living in Mississippi. He was doing all that. And my mom said, yo, I'm not cool with that. I'm not cool with that because I can pay for all my own. I don't need you to come through and buy nothing from me. I'm not interested in your money. That's uninteresting to me. You're not impressing me with that. Females will accept the gift, but they be like, all right, I guess I'll take it. I don't respect you though, because I can tell you're trying to overcompensate for personality deficiencies that you don't have. I can tell what you're trying to do. You're trying to run game. You're trying to get me locked down so I'll be swept off my feet. Even if a woman doesn't know what's happening consciously, subconsciously she does. And she's like, this ain't cool. I'm looking for this brother to show me why he's worth my time. What is he about morally? What is he built? Because you can inherit a lot of money. You could become one of these spoiled guys that inherit a lot of money. And then you go piss that off or get, addicted to some type of drug or something like that. Happens all the times with the kids of these politicians. Shout out to Joe Biden's son. Yeah, shout out to him. See, women are looking for the moral integrity. I'm not saying that they always are looking for that. Some women are cool with a dude as long as he's got some long money. They don't really care. They're treated like crap, and then they go on to live miserable lives. But for the average woman's like, yo, what are you bringing to the table? As far as what kind of quality of man you are as the total package. Finances do factor into it. I'm not saying money don't. But they're looking at you like you're a sucker. And plus, if you're one of these type of men doing these extravagant things for women, and I'm not saying that it's wrong to do that, once you get to know them, once you have found out that they are committed, and they've proven themselves to be committed, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying though is if you're doing these things straight up out the gate, and you're like, well, I'm a good guy, and she should think that I'm a good guy because I'm doing this, but she's gonna think the world of me. No. That's going to make her lose respect for you because you're not actually putting the work in. You're trying to buy your way into her heart. You're trying to buy your way instead of working your way in. There's only so many things your money can do in that regard. Money does factor into a relationship, and you do need to get your financial game right. But what I'm saying, though, is women can see what you're trying to do. And when that doesn't work and it keeps failing, the more frustrated you get. And you say, well, women just want a bad guy. Women don't want a good guy. When you're not a nice guy yourself if you're doing that. You're lazy and you don't want to develop yourself. You don't want to grow emotionally and mentally. And you're going to get what you deserve. Which is probably a mail order bride. That's why some of these rich guys ordering chicks from Asia and stuff. They tried to buy their way in and it's not working. Now the third person, as I mentioned, the aforementioned statement I made, is the most common guy, the guy who gives the unnecessary praise and or politeness to a female. I see this one all the time. I see this one online. A lot. This is a very common thing that I'm sure many of my female listeners are aware of. They hear it every day. You're so fine. I would do this, XYZ. Hey, you're a goddess. It's nauseating even as a man to see. You're a goddess. I would let you do expletives to me. I'm not gonna repeat that. I'll try to keep this PG as possible. But you see this all the time. The guy that ladies, when you walk in the room, he's extra polite. He's doing all these extra things that he doesn't do with everybody else. How are you doing today? So interested in your life. What color? What's your favorite color? You're just trying to have a normal business conversation at the office. You coming in trying to discuss business, and he's all googly-eyed. You've seen it at the workplace, ladies. If you're a female working in customer service, the male customer is being extra nice to you. It's your job to be nice to him, but he's yucking it up, and everything you say is so funny. I mean, you can tell. Fellas, y'all are not slick. Women can tell when you're acting with them like how you don't act with anybody else. They can tell that. You're not fooling anyone. See, here's the thing with me. Yes, I am very polite to females, and I am polite, and I make jokes and crack jokes, and I have general conversation if I feel like it. Most time, if I'm in a public place, if I'm at the grocery store, I got my earbuds in. I don't want to be talked to. I don't really want to interact with people like that. But every now and then I get social, and I might start chopping it up with the cashier female. I might open the door for the female. Very politely, I'll make a comment, about the weather or something like that. And then I keep it pushing. But here's the thing. I do that with everybody. I'm polite because I'm just a polite, nice guy. I have my douchey moments, but I'm just a nice guy overall. I'm just a cultured, friendly, lighthearted, positive kind of guy. That's the kind of guy I am. If I wasn't like that, I wouldn't act like that around females, much less anybody. If I didn't like interacting with people, I would not interact with people. I would be very short to the point, and I'd be very cold with a lot of the stuff that I say. But I'm just not built that way. I'm a Cancerian, so hey, we wear our hearts on our sleeve. That's what I do. The thing is, if I was like that, I would treat females the exact same way. And the thing is, here's the thing, fellas, and especially if, let's say you actually do get a woman to go out with you, and on the first and the second date, because those are the second date is really the one that matters. That's the one that seals the deal, so to speak, as far as we're going to continue interacting with each other. The first date that's basically if the first date is to set up the second date. If you don't set up the second date after the first date, y'all not going out no more. But the thing is, let's just go with the second date. On the second date, you're giving all these compliments. You did on the first date. You're like, you're so beautiful, and I love your shoes, and everything you say is so agreeable. She's over there talking some BS you wouldn't normally agree with, but you're shaking your head or nodding your head yes, and you're just super duper, super hardcore and attentive. You're not normally like that for anything else, but hell, you got a fine woman in front of you, so like all attention on deck. You're extra tipping to try to impress her. I mean, yours is going all out. Everything she says is divine. This is what too many of you brothers out here constitute as a nice guy. Women don't want that. Oh, one more other thing before I forget. If you are the type of guy that shares a crap ton of information on the first couple of dates, you're just telling your whole life story, you're just going in. She didn't really ask you, certain information, but you are just willfully giving away tons and tons of information. The first time I rode a bike, I was 13 years old, and my daddy helped me, and my daddy, he used to work at the factory, and he tried to get me to work at the factory. You were just going on and on and on. Women don't want that. Sometimes women want a man with some mystery to him, and that's for life. Whether she's been your wife for 3 or 4 years or 30 years, women want some mystery to them, man. They don't want you telling every single little tiny damn detail. It's been scientifically proven that men talk less in a day than women do. In general, because we really don't reveal a lot of stuff about us. Women know that, and they don't want us to do that. There's certain things that they need to know and certain things that they don't need to know, and they understand that. Sometimes, if they're asking a question about something, they're looking for you to tell them, no, I'm not revealing that information. You don't have to be necessarily a dick about it, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to see what their parameters are, and it's your opportunity as a man to show them, hey. They're asking, what kind of car you drive? Hey, I'm here at this place with you, eating this pizza and drinking this beer. I made it here on time. That's really all you need to do in that regard. You don't have to be as, bullish as that, but I would be like, hey, let me ask you, what difference does that make? I'm here with you, we're having a good time. As long as I make it where I need to make it on time, that's all you need to know. And men are afraid to do that because they don't want to talk themselves out of sex. Let's just be honest. Let's be honest. But they're looking for you to do that. They respect that. And the women will tell you that. I made a lot of mistakes in my past. I used to do some really sucker stuff in my past, but I learned from my mistakes. I made the mistakes so that you don't have to go through what I did. The women used to tell me, I don't want to know everything up front. I just want to get to know you gradually. And I was insistent, and I kept asking them, ask some questions about me. You don't want to know if I did this and XYZ? You don't want to know? And they told me, hey, I don't want to know everything up front. We'll get to it when we get to it. I think being around somebody, I'm quoting them, I think being around somebody is the best indicator as to who they are. All that information will come out gradually, and I kept trying to force it on them. So, men, don't do that. If there's a question that is irrelevant, or that you really don't feel like you need to answer, or that you don't want to answer, you can say no. Just like they'll tell you, hey, I don't really feel comfortable sharing that information. You have that right too. But yeah, if you're on a date and you're doing this is just really over the top, I'm paying, everything you say is so damn interesting. You can also change the subject. You can also be like, hey, I disagree with you. A lot of men are afraid to disagree with women. I'm here to tell you, if you disagree with the woman, she'll respect you a lot more for that. She'll respect you more for that. And here's the reason why. Let's say a woman, you and your lady are about to go out. Y'all about to go out to a nice restaurant, and you suited and booted and you're ready to go, and she's doing what women do. And she comes to you and asks you, how does this scarf look? And it's an ass ugly scarf, and this goes into your initial approach to it. And if you want to get some more information about that, please feel free to look up my episode, How Men Can Approach Women. It's on my YouTube. Please check that out. That I break that down. But this is especially true upon initial reaction, because if you go up and compliment a woman on something that you really don't like, she can tell you're lying. Even if she doesn't think it looks good, because a lot of women will experiment with looks, and they'll kind of rock it around for a little bit, and they'll go look at the mirror. You know what? This is ass ugly. This ain't it. I thought it was it. I thought I was trying it out. I was trying to see if it was popping. I'm not even feeling this. This looks whack. Our hairstyle, I'm not feeling this hairstyle. I thought it would be dope. And you come up to her and you say, I like your hair. And she's like, well, first of all, in her mind, I don't even like this bullshit. I don't even like it. I can look at him and tell he's not sincere. They can tell. They can tell. Don't ever falsely compliment a woman, because they can tell. You tell her she's beautiful and she's 350 pounds. They can tell when you're lying. And if you've been with the lady for a while and she comes out and tells you that scenario I just was delving into, and you tell her that scarf looks good and it's ass ugly to you, she can tell when you're telling the truth. A lot of men will just be like, yeah, baby, it looks great, so y'all can just get up out the house and get where y'all need to go, because you're tired of waiting on her. But a woman will respect you more, and this is where a lot of guys get confused. A woman will respect you more if you say, yo, that is ass ugly. I'm sorry, you looking goofy as hell in that damn scarf. You ain't gotta be that harsh, but you could be like, nah, that's not the business. That's not the business. Really? I don't think it looks cute. Don't ask me my opinion if you're gonna sit up here and argue with me. It's not cute. Now, while that might bug a female initially, and this happens a lot when, a dude has been unfaithful in a relationship, or a dude slipped up. I don't really think that there's slip-ups, but let's say that's the case, or, a guy has moved on past the relationship, has moved on past her, and he doesn't have the guts to go and tell the woman. The thing about it is, women can accept being hurt by the truth. Men have problems with that. Men have major problems with being hurt by the truth. We will engage in deceitful practices as long as we can to not have to deal with reality, which is major dangerous for you as a male. But with women, they can accept the truth and the hurt that comes with the truth. What they can't wrap their minds around is deception, though. That's what they cannot they cannot wrap their minds around that. And then we live in a savage, very competitive world where we understand that, damn it, anything goes in certain areas of life. Women do to an extent also in other areas. But with men, lying to us is very easy, admittedly. It's very easy. Because we're trying to get things done as quickly as possible. That's how men are. Real good book that talks about that is Secrets About Men That All Women Should Know. That's a real good book that talks about that. We're basically trying to get things done and get to the point. Women are trying to get more into the emotional aspect of things, and they're trying to figure out the ins and outs and the details of the stuff that men miss. So men are very brief, and they're like, hey, if I gotta lie in this situation to get what I need to get done, then so be it. So and I'm not saying lying is right. It's definitely not right, but that's how the general male thinks. But they can't get their head around that. You see a lot of TV shows where, it's like a man cheated on a woman, and the woman says, it's not so much that he cheated on me, Sex and the City did this. But it's not so much that the man cheated on me, it's the deceptive part behind it. I understand the physical part. You physically was yearning for something, you went and got it. But the fact that you went through such great lengths to hide it. So, let's say you did slip up, but as a man, you went to her like, yo, I slipped up. I messed up. I was wrong. Shouldn't have did that. That's going to hurt her. And it might take her a while to get past it, but she'll get past it a lot faster than if you did something behind closed doors and she found out about it. The ladies will agree with me on that. The ladies will agree with me on that. They can get past you breaking up with them just as long as you're honest with them. Hey, I found someone else. It's not nothing wrong you did. This person fits me better. It's not because you're not a good fit for anyone. This person just fits me better. And I would understand if you did the same thing. So, if you tell your woman that, she respects you because let's say she is rocking something fly. Let's say she is rocking something that you feel, and you be like, babe, you are looking fly as a feather up in that outfit right now. It's popping off. They know you're telling the truth about that because you told the truth about how ass ugly that scarf was. They're like, I know he's not BSing me right now. Imagine what that does for her confidence. Imagine what that does for her self-esteem. Oh, I know he's not playing because he will tell me something's ass ugly in a heartbeat. So, fellas, the whole nice guy routine, give that up. Give that up. A woman is looking for a leader, somebody who is decisive and who knows what he's doing. And another thing, the whole choosing the guy, to break down, I wanted to touch on like when the guy said, well, the guy that she's dealing with always ignores her and I'm always there for her. Okay, women do want affection and they want time spent with you, but women, and they don't really tell us this, but women, as much as they say, I want to spend time with you, I need to be with you, women want you out there getting things done. They want you out there getting things done. That's why during a lot of like World War II and stuff, when the husband will be away for years, months on end, women weren't really leaving. They weren't leaving their husbands like that. They're like, I understand he's gone, and I understand I have needs and stuff like that. But at the same time, he's out here getting things done. He's out here building a life for us. So they can live with that. Heck, in sports, I mean, these athletes are gone from their wives for months at a time, but they know that they're out there building something. Not only that, they have basically trophies to show for it. They have measures of success to show for it, and that's what women are looking for. They're not looking for you to be monitoring them and being around them all the time. They might tell you that, hey, I want more time with you, but again, that goes back to the parameter setting thing. They're looking for you to tell them, no, I have things to do. I am a busy man. And you should be out here doing things. You should be out here building something. Other than that standard measure of a man I mentioned earlier. That's just the basic level of a man. That's nothing special about that. They're looking for parameters and for you to tell them, no, I have things to do. I don't have time to sit up on the phone and talk to you for 3-4 hours on end. That's too long. I got this, heck, I don't know. I got this painting I gotta paint. I'm trying to go sell this bad boy in a museum and get us some paper off of it. I'll holler at you when I finish this painting. Then we can go out to eat. But that's basically that's why nice guys finish last. That's why nice guys finish last. Don't be a nice guy. Be a real man. Be a full, well put together man. I mean, physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually, all the above. You should desire to become the best kind of male you should be in those regards. That's the type of males women are looking for. I know a lot of females are attracted to quote unquote bad boys, dudes who've been in and out of jail a gazillion times, but that's because they have misconstrued ideas of what manhood is. You don't want to be with a female like that. So don't cry over that chick that keeps picking dudes like that. They think that manhood is constantly risking your life, and it's that danger factor that turns them on to it. And I've dealt with females like that who've left me for guys like that, so don't feel bad. You don't want to be with a female like that. They 9 times out of 10 did not have a father in the house, and if the father was in the house, he was out of the house and in the jail himself. As frequent as possible. So you don't want women like that. And to be fair, I mean, if we're talking about the guys who are peddling and doing illegal stuff or whatever, as wrong as that is, you can learn a lesson from them. Because hell, if you're a dude selling drugs, a woman is looking at that and saying, well, at least he's getting stuff done. Because in order to sell drugs, you have to be basically a people person. You have to know how to interact with people. You have to know how to be witty. You have to know how to be street smart. You have to know how to be secretive and mysterious with a lot of your things. Is this making sense now? It's not so much about the money, while a female does enjoy that. The dope game isn't really what it used to be. But you can learn from for all the guys who never really got out of their mom's basements and developed themselves. I mean, there you go. All you guys who are hermits, who have self-esteem issues, who sit around in the house scrolling through the internet, looking at all these chicks wishing to be with them. Okay, at least the drug dealer, while he's illegal, is getting things done. Women desire a man who's witty and is quick at the tongue, who's out here doing what he needs to do. Heck, you a dope boy. I mean, your time, that requires a lot of your time. Yet you got women lined up for you, willing to wait for you. You can take lessons from that, fellas. Not saying go sell drugs. I'm not. Yeah, they're poisoning their community. Yes, they are destroying their community. I'm not advocating for you to go sell drugs or do anything illegal. But you have to look at the qualities and characteristics you can take from that and use for yourself. That's why it looks like women like bad boys and guys that ignore them and guys that treat them like crap. That's why. You can embody all the good things and take them and use them for your advantage, while at the same time being a respectable guy, while doing things the right way. If you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button. please hit the notification bell. If you have not seen my published work, I'm on Amazon, and if you just search thestormypoet.com. Sorry, The Stormy Poet. I'm so used to saying that. You can go to thestormypoet.com as well to view my full body of work. But if you would like to purchase my books and see my published works, if you go to Amazon and search The Stormy Poet, all my work will pop up. My book, Product of the Storm, as well as my book, A Pale Face for a Caller, Testimonials of an Office Rat. My second book, my third book. I have 2 chapters remaining. It is coming very soon. I don't want to put a date on it because things do happen, but once it's finished and edited, I will put a date on it. That's coming very soon. I have the editor lined up and I have 2 more chapters to go. This concludes this broadcast of the Levels of Love Tips. If you have any questions about relationships, do feel free to reach out to me at T.S.P. at thestormypoet.com. I'll be glad to answer any of them. If you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, please consider making a financial contribution of any amount to my PayPal account. It will be linked in the description. And that is it for tonight's broadcast. Hope that you will join us for the next Levels of Love tips. Peace.